All right, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. It's another wonderful time, and we're glad to welcome you to this wonderful section on anger management, conflict resolution, and negotiation. So this is in the series of our professional certification courses that are free to attend, and this is the last of our free to attend professional programs. So in case you have been following us up, you're welcome. And in case you're just joining us for the first time, you're also welcome. We encourage you to use the comment section to let us know where you're joining us from. Let us know your location. That will be sincerely appreciated. And we also appreciate that your name is written. If the name on your handle is actually your name, so that we can get to meet you. And in case the name there is not your actual name, please feel free to put on your real name so that we can also get to meet you. All right, so today we have our very own that will be taking us on the section on anger management, conflict resolution, and negotiation. Now, this program is going to be a 2-week program for Friday and Saturday, and it's going to be free to attend. However, the materials, the study materials, and the certifications will be of our request, and they are all available at discounted rates. So, in case you wish to have a certification on this, we'll get the information about the certification and the study materials and every other thing you need to know as we proceed. So meanwhile, you're welcome. Thank you so much, BUT. Good. Thank you for joining us at SEPA. Thank you for joining us. And feel free to share the stream. Feel free to invite someone. Let's all come together to learn. This is the Integrated Institute of Professional Management, the home of management professionals. So you're highly welcome, and it's time to move. So we'd like to invite our guest lecturer for today. She's one of the most renowned emotional intelligence professionals in not just Nigeria, in Africa, and also around the globe. She's been doing so wonderfully well in the emotional intelligence field. And today she'll be taking us on anger management. She'll be taking us on anger management today. She'll be taking us on anger management today. So I trust we will be able to listen very well, pay attention, and then we'll grasp all of what she's going to be teaching us today. That's no other person than Dr. Ifeoma Eze. So please, Doc, over to you, and you're welcome.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Banito. I'm really glad to be here once again in this class. And I want to welcome everyone. I want to say you're welcome to class. And it's going to be a very exciting and interactive time. So today we are looking at anger management. And I believe we are ready for it. Welcome to everyone who has already joined us from YouTube already. We are glad that you are here. All right, I'll be sharing my slides just quickly so that we can begin. All right. So when it comes to anger management, I like to ask a question. If you can answer, go ahead and answer in the WhatsApp, in the comment section on YouTube. I just want to ask a question, and that question is this. Do you think specific people need anger management classes, or is this something you think it's okay for everyone? So what do you think about it? When you hear anger management, like a course, like something we have to go through, you think it's something that somebody in particular has to, that is just for specific people, but then it is not for everybody? Let me know what your thoughts are, because we'll be sharing a whole lot on anger management. Welcome, this is Integrated Institute of Professional Management, and we've been bringing you back-to-back free courses to start this year as a form of our CSR And we are really delighted to impart large volumes of knowledge that will help you to become a better professional in your field. So let's quickly hop into it, okay? So today we're going to, oh, okay. All right, so this is our class, anger management. You can already see the person on our slide looking very angry. But rest assured, I am not angry. But I'm going to teach you how you can manage that anger, because we all have emotions, and our emotions can either make us or mar us. So today we have some learning objectives. We're going to be explaining what anger is. After that, we'll talk about anger management. We'll be looking at the list, we'll be looking at the advantages and disadvantages of anger. We'll also be explaining the triggers of anger, what triggers anger in people. We'll also be describing the internal cues to anger. We'll also look at the types of anger that exist. We'll look at the steps for anger management. Then we will also explain what the COTS is. Then we'll explain how to use relaxation for anger management. And then we'll describe the strategies to control anger. We'll also explain the use of effective communication in anger management. And then finally, I'll be sharing I'll be sharing the tips to help you keep cool, to keep a very cool persona. Okay, so while you answer the question I asked at the beginning, I said, do you think anger management is just for specific people? Or do you think it's for everybody? Do you think everybody needs to know anger management? If yes, why? If no, why? Please let me know in the comment section. All right, let's look at a case study here. Before us is Henry Gordon. All right. So just imagine what his face looks like, because his face is blurred. But Henry Gordon works as a project manager in a reputed multinational company. He has been facing a lot of problems because of his inability to control his temper. His wife is unhappy with Henry's frequent angry outbursts and has finally stopped trying to reason with him. This same Henry, his subordinates are scared of him, and they do not voice their views anymore, and they don't even tell him their opinions anymore because of the way he reacts when he's angry. Henry's boss keeps telling him to control his temper. Henry's anger problem is laying obstacles to his growth in the company. Henry's superiors do not trust him for higher management roles because they believe he can balloon the entire company. Henry's friends have started avoiding him, and when they do meet him, they are always wary of Henry. As you can see, Henry is facing a lot of problems, both on his personal life and as well in his professional front, due to his frequent anger outbursts. So what do you think we can do for Henry? Because of this, you see that Henry's inability to control his anger makes everyone around him uncomfortable, angry, resentful, and wary of him. Anger problem not only affects others, but also adversely affects Henry's health. It affects his peace of mind. It affects his concentration on work. Hence, it is important that everyone anger management, all right? So we're going to be explaining what anger is. So in case you need to know what so what is anger? Anger is an emotional state that varies in intensity from mild irritation to intense fury and rage. Anger is a secondary emotion. It is not a primary one. Another emotion, such as fear, frustration, anxiety, sorrow, or feeling diminished, inevitably precedes the experience of anger. What I'm trying to say is that anger is not the first thing you feel. You have to feel something before you begin to feel anger. Let's say you went to your boss and you have never really taken permission, unlike others in your firm, but you went and asked for just a day out, all right? A day out so that you can use it to solve some family problems. And he says no without considering the fact that you have not been making a request like this. You know, the first thing you would feel would be, do I even matter to them? Does my welfare matter to anybody? Does this company even care for me? That is the first thing you're going to feel, and that is the primary emotion. After that, you begin to now feel feelings of anger, which is now the secondary emotion. So generally, anger replaces these primary emotions I talked about so quickly that we never notice them. Beneath the primary emotions lie unmet needs. So the example I used, you asked for a day out and it was not granted. That is enough to make you angry. But remember that that anger is a secondary emotion as a result of unmet needs. I want to welcome everybody online who has joined us. I see comments from Asempa Peter from Ghana. You're welcome. I'm glad you are here. I see another one from Beauty Gold. I'm really glad you are here. Lizzie Libby. Okay, Brownson Elizabeth. Welcome. I'm so glad you are here. Let others know that we have started, and many people are online, but they are not commenting. Comment so I know you are here. All right, let's move on. So right now we'll be talking about the consequences of this emotion called anger. You know, these are things that we should not take for granted because they have the ability to keep us stunted. They have the ability to mess up our career. They have the ability to even make us to lose our jobs or even promotion that could come our way. So quickly, I'd like to share with you the consequences of anger. It is important that you understand the harmful consequences of anger to others and to yourself. So some of the potential consequences of anger are as follows. Number one, you can cause physical harm to someone else or to yourself. When you're angry, you could lose family or you could even lose friends. When you're angry, you could lose your job because of the way you reacted. There could be destruction of property because you're angry. There could also be loss of social privileges, even going to jail or getting a bad reputation simply because you could not control that emotion called anger. So, what then is anger management? To understand what anger management is, let's look at a famous phrase said by the well-known Greek philosopher called Aristotle. Aristotle said that anybody can be angry. That is easy. But to be angry with the right person, to the right degree, at the right time, for the right purpose, and in the right way, that is not easy. So this is a famous quote by Aristotle telling us that if we want to manage our anger, we should learn how to be angry with the right person. We should learn how to be angry to the right degree. We should learn how to be angry at the right time and for the right purpose and in the right way. All right. I know this may look Herculean and almost impossible because sometimes when we are angry, we find it very difficult to control it. But that's why we're in this class right now, so that we can learn the art of anger management. Managing your anger is a possibility. and it is a skill you have to develop, right? So why are we talking about anger management? Anger is not the problem. Out of control anger is the problem. When a person gets angry, it is often as a result of threatened emotions such as hurt of ourselves, self-importance, rejection, difficulty to deal with prospects, and antagonistic flight of the imaginations. If you do not deal with anger correctly, it has a way of building up over time. Before you know it, you can be in a position where anger is now controlling you and becoming a negative influence in your life. Being proactive with anger management will help you to ensure that it remains a healthy emotion that protects you from unnecessary hurt or threat. The purpose of your anger is to protect you. If you couldn't feel angry, you would be at a very big disadvantage. But like any powerful tool, you need to know how to use it. And this is why we are studying anger management. Now, there are two general ways in which your anger can hurt you and those you love. Those two, number one is called explosion, and number two is called suppression. Explosion and suppression. Now, let's look at both of them in detail. Let's look at explosion first. Explosion is basically reacting while the anger energy is passing through you, and it's not allowing you to think. The part of your brain that can think, that is the cerebral cortex, is kept out of the loop. So when you are angry, your cerebral cortex is not in action, it's kept out. You are actually operating from the early warning part of your brain. That is the limbic system. Now, the limbic system is fast, but not very smart about what is actually going on. So you see people doing things they didn't believe they would do. You see people harassing, embarrassing themselves. You see people destroying relationships that took years to form, and this is very, very terrible. Yes, Iken Nadike, thank you for your comments on YouTube. You said anger creates negative emotions. Yes. And you have to learn how to control that negative emotion if you really want to be successful in life, if you want to really excel as a professional. That part of your brain is meant to give you a jump on things. That's the limbic system. The limbic system is not meant to handle anything complex. Hence, it is important that by anger management, you get the cerebral cortex back in charge. So when you're managing your anger, you are able to control your emotions using the cerebral cortex. So your first priority, however, needs to be damage control by avoiding that explosion. So if there is anything you can do to make sure that the negative emotion of anger is not controlling everything about you, go ahead and do it. One of the things you can do is to try a deep breath or two to avoid reacting before you regain control, which means that if you are angry, try to control yourself before you begin to say something. So take deep breaths, like you can breathe in, try to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then you exhale. That way, when you do that like 2 times or 3 times or even more, you are able to be in control and you give your cerebral cortex time to take charge of what you are feeling. The next one is suppression. Suppression is where you are so unwilling to admit that you are angry, that you begin to stuff your feelings deep inside yourself. When you do that, the anger does not go away, but only goes on the ground. You do not lose the anger, you only lose track of it. Even though you may have told yourself that what happened doesn't matter, your unconscious mind knows better. Suppressed anger can go several ways. It can cause you to turn off, to shut down as far as your feelings, towards the people around you. It can also form into landmines, which are prone to be triggered and to ambush both you and the people around you. Chronic unresolved anger is to be blamed for numerous serious physical health problems, even though it can be very unpleasant to admit to yourself just how angry you are. Identifying the depth of your feelings can be a major step towards getting rid of your anger. So this is what you have to do in order to manage your anger. All right, let's look at this pyramid. In this pyramid, we can clearly see at the top pyramid, we can see anger as secondary emotion. This is the anger management pyramid. In the middle, we can see the primary emotions, and at the base, we can see unmet emotional needs. What this triangle is trying to say, what this pyramid is trying to say in essence, is that usually before we begin to feel anger, the first cause of that emotion will be unmet emotional needs. So there is something you want, there is something you need, there is something that was not done for you, there was something that was not done to you, there was something you experienced, and all of this constitutes unmet emotional needs. Now, these are your primary emotions. So based on what you now, based on the unmet emotional needs, you can have a primary emotion of fear, or you can have a primary emotion of neglect. You can even feel taken for granted. These are primary emotions, but then all of them eventually culminate into anger. So it is wisdom for you to recognize and identify emotional or unmet emotional needs are, and then also identify how are you feeling about it. That is the primary emotions before the anger. If you really want to manage your anger, you need to understand the primary source of the anger. Now let's talk about the primary source of anger a little bit. If you're following, just let me know in the comment section. You can drop a comment. You can just let us know if you're following, if you're understanding, so that I know. You can also drop a comment in the comment section. That way I know that you can hear me loud and clear. All right. So let's continue. Primary source of anger. Anger is an emotion that either controls us or helps us to succeed in life. That is true. You might be like, how does anger help us succeed in life? I'll be sharing that with you in a little while. If we have negative thoughts, most likely when a threat hits our emotion, we will explode. We should always be aware of our primary source of anger, and that is unmet desire. Once the needs are identified, an individual can constructively work to get them met or can practice self-soothing and avoid blowing up into anger or rage. All right, so let's talk more about this. The factors that affect anger management. We'll be talking about the in a person. They are to conflict and cause us to respond in the midst of anger. All right, we need to know these things so that they can help us. Number one is our gender. Some of us use anger in certain situations simply because of our gender. For example, because they are taught that you have to stand up for someone, you have to fight, then they begin to fight. So it's some of this can be very gender specific, all right? So another one is self-concept. How we think and feel about ourselves affect how we approach anger. If you think you're self-worthy, you would control your anger better. If you have lost everything and you don't care about what else you're going to lose, It also affects how you get angry. Have you heard people say, I have nothing to lose again. I'm not afraid of anything again. I've already hit ground bottom. Be careful of fighting with somebody who has nothing to lose. If you heard me loud and clear, I'd like you to put it in the comment section. Be careful, very careful of being in trouble, of quarreling, of arguing, of being in conflict with somebody who does not have anything to lose. So self-concept is very key. Another one is expectation. Do we believe the other person or our team wants to resolve the conflict, or are they being adamant in their views? So what you believe about how does this person really want to solve this problem? Is this person interested in meeting this need? Is this person concerned about me? Is this person willing to resolve this conflict? These are things that can make you angry, because you'll be like, oh, I'm trying my best, but you're not even making any attempt in order to make sure that we resolve this. That can also impact the way that you become angry. Let's talk about another one. The situation. The situation that you found yourself in can make you angry. Where is the situation making you angry occurring? Do we know the person we are getting angry with? And is the anger for personal or professional reasons? All of us will agree that when you are very angry with a soldier, you will learn how to control the way you get angry, right? You will learn how to control your explosion. But when you are angry with somebody you think you can beat, somebody you think you can really mess up, there is a high tendency that you would react much more, because you know that you can actually beat this person up. Now, if you are angry with your boss and that job still matters to you, you would notice that the way you respond to that anger will be a bit of the suppression side, more on the explosion side. So situation is a factor that affects how we respond to conflict or to anger. All right, so another one is position. The power that you have, the position that you occupy. Whether you get angry with a person and to what degree is greatly affected by what your power status is. Whether it be in a relationship, whether that is if you are equal, more or less. So if you are equal with the person, it will affect the way you respond to the conflict and how you react to your anger. If you are more than the person or higher than the person or lower than the person in terms of position or power, it will also show up in how you respond to anger. So this is very, very key. When you are before a king, you be careful about how you show up or respond to your anger. If you are in front of the owner of the company who has the power to hire or to fire you, it will also reflect on the way you control your anger. Please let me know in the comment section if you understand everything I've been sharing so far, and let me know the part that connects more with you. Also, feel free to drop your comments. Yes, I see comments from Peter Asempa, who said, yeah, all right. I see you acknowledge you are understanding. I see Iken Nadike said, anger rests in the bosom of fools. Absolutely. From Ecclesiastes 7 verse 9. You are correct. All right. He said, don't get angry with somebody who has nothing to lose. That was exactly what I said. You hear me loud and clear. Beauty Gold. Yes, I know that you are hearing me. Thank you so much for being here. All right. So let's talk about another factor that affects how we respond to anger. That is practice. Yes, Benedictus Kumsin, he said, excellent insight. Thank you very much. And I'm glad that you are here. So practice is another thing that involves, practice involves being able to manage your anger effectively, being able to determine whether anger will be most effective to resolve the conflict, and the ability to change modes as necessary. while engaged in conflict. So with practice, you can actually learn how to manage your anger efficiently. Another one is determining the best method. We develop an understanding of resolving conflicts with people through practice. That's the truth. Nobody came into this world with an absolute skill of knowing how to manage their anger. We learn anger management through practice, through doing it over and over again. So we use this to determine when to use anger with a particular person with whom we are in conflict, or when not to use it, because you need to be sensitive enough to know what to do and how to do it. All right, so communication skills is another one. The essence of anger management is the ability to communicate effectively. People who have and use effective communication will avoid anger with greater ease and greater success, simply because they know how to communicate effectively. All right, and then life experiences. Believe me, our life experiences, both personal and professional, they have taught us to frame anger as either something positive that can be worked through, or something negative to be avoided and ignored at all costs. So over time, in fact, people usually say that when you get older, you avoid some kind of arguments, because as you get older, you're no longer trying to prove yourself to anybody, right? But when you're younger, you are trying to make everybody understand you. You're trying to make everybody see things from your perspective. But as you get older, you try to just do what you believe is right, okay? So our life experiences matter, both in our personal lives and in our professional lives. All right, so the next thing I'd like to share with you are the skills to deal with anger. So the following are the skills needed in dealing with your anger. Number one, identify a range of feelings, including anger. So know what you are feeling per time. Number two, identify aggressive acts by self or others. Number three, identify the potential consequences to yourself and to others from this aggressive act. And then next, identify self-destructive behavior. The next one will be to identify internal cues to feelings of anger. The next one, identify thoughts prior to aggressive acts, because before you ever get aggressive, there are some thoughts that must have flashed in your mind before that starts. So if you're able to understand what those internal cues are, those triggers, those thoughts that come before you now begin to react, then you'll be able to control and better manage your anger. Develop coping mechanisms for dealing with anger, and then express anger without loss of control. Like I said at the beginning, it's not just about having anger. Anger in itself is not bad. What is bad is out of control anger. So if you must express your anger without loss of control. What we are teaching here is not just going to be of benefit to both just your professional life. It will also help you in your personal life. Assuming you are married or you're in a relationship, it is wisdom for you to know that you have to learn how to manage your anger, especially as it relates with the person you are in a relationship with. If it is your husband or your spouse or your significant partner, and you are having misunderstanding about something, it is wisdom for you to attack what the person has done. Don't attack the person's personality. I always say this every time I get a chance to speak around this subject matter. Attack what the person has done, but don't attack who the person is. Let me give you an example. Somebody mistakenly throws your cup down, and then your juice or your tea splashes, and then the cup breaks. And they're like, this is how your life is useless. This is how you have not been able to do one good thing well. Everything in your life falls and crashes this way. Everything in your life falls. And this is how everything I put in your hand has gotten destroyed. You see, what you are doing at that moment, at that very moment, is that you are destroying this person's personality. You are not focusing on what he or she has done. You are just trashing the person's entire humanity. And this is not okay at all. It's not right at all. So let's learn to focus on what the person has done and not on the person's entire personality. This will help you. Many of us leave what the matter is at hand. I say, since I knew you, this is how things have been falling. This is, even my life is falling in your hands, that kind of thing. So let's learn how to separate, manage our anger, especially as it relates to the things that we do and the things that we say. All right, let's see what advantages and disadvantages of anger is. Somebody will be like, wait, I know about the disadvantages of anger, but does anger have advantage? I get to see some of it now. All right, so let's talk about the advantages of anger. Number one advantage of anger is that if used correctly, anger can release tension. There are people who are very good with suppressing their anger. When you suppress your anger, you are building up tension within you. And this can be a lot of problem because your life will just be like a walking landmine, which means that any slightest provocation, you will see yourself reacting in ways you didn't believe you could even react. And this is very, very deadly. All right. It's not something you want to find yourself doing. Yes, I see comments from Beauty Gold. She said, if you really want to go far in your life, you need to learn how to manage your anger so that you won't lose valuable things. That's a very wonderful contribution. Thank you so much. That's correct. Iken Adike said, express your anger without loss of control or destroying somebody's personality. You are so right, Ikenna. Thank you for your comments. All right. So another advantage of anger is that it can energize you. Somebody will be like, how does anger can energize you? Let me use an example. If you're angry about the way certain things are going in the country, it can energize you to pursue a particular vision, innovation, or creative idea that can help you ameliorate the suffering of the people in the country. So it can energize you to do right. It can energize you to actively pursue that dream or that vision that you have that has the capacity to make things better for the country. So the anger has a way of actually energizing you. Anger can help communication, even though I know that there are people that when they get very angry, they begin to stammer, they can't really communicate properly. But when you are angry, that gives everybody a room to find out, why are you angry? What's upsetting you? And then it can be an opportunity for you to really communicate why you are feeling the way you are feeling. Anger can also help you to resolve hidden conflict. You may never know. There will be conflict that it's already hidden, but it's right there, but nobody's talking about it. Nobody's doing anything about it. And then when you're angry, then it can. Have you seen people? Somebody asking, why are you angry? And then for one thing, the person enters and that thing and that thing. By the time that conversation is over, you would have found out the real primary source of that anger. Anger can help you provide new thoughts. When you're angry about something not working, at that moment, you'll be surprised at the new thoughts and ideas that can come to your way for you to step out from that problem. Anger can also alert one to threats, and it can also provide information. All right? Because you may never know some truths about someone or something that's happening in the office until somebody gets angry. Then they'll begin to like say the truth. One particular businessman said that he would never allow his accountant and his salesperson to always be in good terms. That is not good for business. If I tell you why he said that, you would really laugh. He said that sometimes I just allow them to get angry. I set them up with themselves so that they can tell me the truth. How did they sell this my good, and how did they spend the money? That's from a businessman. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section if you think that's right or not. All right, so let's talk about the disadvantages of anger. Some of them you already know, but if used inappropriately, that's if anger is used inappropriately, anger can disrupt one's life. Somebody got angry that her husband was sleeping around and she took knife and stabbed that husband. You know what happened? She was locked up and jailed for life. So, in as much as there was provocation, she had no right to take away the life of somebody else, and she was jailed for life. So her life was disrupted simply because she could not control her anger. That man was not the only husband she could have had in this life, but because of her inability to manage her anger, her own life was also disrupted. Number two, another disadvantage of anger is that it can control one's thoughts, and you don't want to put your thoughts in the hand of an unstable emotion, right? Anger is such an unstable emotion. In fact, somebody said that anger is temporal madness. Anger is temporal madness, like madness for a while. The madness comes and the madness goes, it's like that. So you don't want to put your emotion, your life in the hands of an emotion that is highly unstable. All right. So the next one will be it can ruin relationships. People have lost loved ones because of uncontrolled anger. People have lost loved ones because of uncontrolled anger. Very, very, you couldn't control what you were feeling. You couldn't control uh, how you were feeling at that time, and you're able to ruin a relationship. I tell people, don't for the sake of ego, ruin a relationship that should last forever. It's a terrible thing to do. There are some of who may be in this class right now. There is a father you're not talking to because of anger. There is a mother you're not talking to because of anger. There is a brother or a sister you are no longer on speaking terms because of anger. It is my hope that by the time this class comes to an end, you will realize the disadvantage of keeping that anger, and then you will do what is right. You go and reconnect, you go and make amends, and understand that the anger came and the anger should go and it shouldn't last forever, right? And people are falling every day. You may never know. You may never know how much time you have with that person. And unfortunately, it's not even the most sick that are dying. The people that you think that they have a long way to go. So do well to reconnect and reunite, all right, so that those ruined relationships can be revived. Another thing is that anger can cause health problems. So, well, the doctor or the lab technician might not be able to give you a test result that says anger is the cause of this health condition. But believe you me, anger can cause lots and lots of health problems if you are perpetually angry, always angry. You'll be surprised at the things that will be happening in your life. And this is really, really not good. So you need to guard your health, all right? It can also cause emotional problems. There are people that because they are super angry, the thing makes them to get depressed and stuff like that. So it's another disadvantage of anger. Another one is can make you leave a negative impression. Just one unguarded moment, just one moment of temporal madness. You will do something you can never take back. All right, let's talk about the range of feelings. All right, the range of feelings leading to anger. There are a range of feelings that lead you to anger, and they are actually surrounding the actual feeling of anger that leads us to become angry. In order to understand what makes you angry, it is important to know and identify this range of feelings surrounding anger. So what are they? Number one is embarrassment. So sometimes you are not angry immediately. First, you become embarrassed, and then after embarrassment, you become angry. All right. So you become angry as a result of the embarrassment that you had. All right. So another one is excitement. When excitement is cut short, it can really be very embarrassing and even disappointing. So the next one is disappointment. Okay. Another one is jealousy. Jealousy and envy, the twin sisters, twin brothers, that cause many people to be angry for no reason at all. Fear. Fear can give you anger. Fear of not being wanted. Fear of not being loved. And you'll be like, what? What did I do to deserve this? Another one is helplessness. I have tried everything. I have done everything I know I have been told to do, but yet I'm not getting the kind of results I want. Helplessness, it can make you angry. Another one is sadness. Sadness because of what has happened, sadness because of what you have lost. Another one is isolation. You feel alone and lonely. And you begin to ask yourself, why am I even here? Why was I created in the first place? You know, anger. Anger is another one. Irate. You become irrational. You begin to take decisions, very, very quick decisions without thinking them through. Another one is spite. You just spite somebody, resentful. You don't like what the person is doing. You don't like how the person is doing what they're doing. These things can limit you and cause you to be very, very angry. Another one is frustration. When you have tried everything you know how to do and it seems not to be working, you become frustrated. And before long, that frustration eventually leads you into anger. And that one is rage. Rage, uncontrolled anger, grouchiness, irritation. You are irritated at something. You are not happy about what's happening. You are annoyed. And madness, I've been talking about madness before now. And then fury. Fury is a higher form of anger. Now, this anger behavior, there are various ways in which a person may display his anger. It's important for us to identify aggressive acts or anger behavior shown by ourselves and others, and to stop such acts. So what do we have to do in order to achieve that? Before us is aggressive acts, some of the aggressive acts that people can engage in when they are angry. Okay, so they can begin to call somebody names, they'll begin to throw things around. Some of them will kick something or kick somebody. Some will get in the face of someone and they like almost they're trying to punch the person. And that one is shoving, grabbing, hitting somebody, or even breaking something. Or another set of aggressive acts could be giving somebody a dirty look, silent treatment, get others to gang up against the person, spread rumors about that person, even to the point of physical harm to someone or even to yourself, and destruction of property. These are aggressive acts. Now you need to know that there is a difference, a lot of difference between anger and aggression. Right? So it is crucial that you know the difference between anger and aggression. Anger is an emotion. So it is okay to be angry, right? But aggression is acting and letting out the anger inappropriately. And aggression is not okay. So while anger is okay, aggression is not okay. We should therefore learn to check our aggression in order to express our anger properly. So you can express your anger properly by talking to somebody about it, by sharing how you feel about something, but it is not okay for you to be aggressive, which means you can be assertive without being aggressive. People who do not know constructive ways to express anger and frustration frequently become aggressive to express their feelings. Anger is the main component of aggressive behavior and acts of violence. Anger, the emotion called anger, is not a problem. What one does with anger can be a problem. That is why aggression is usually the result of excited emotional states of anger and frustration. All right, let's continue. Let's talk about causes of conflict. Causes of conflict. So if we can understand the causes of conflict with others, it will help us to avoid conflicts and hence avoid getting angry. The following are the causes of conflict. What causes conflict, whether in our workplace, whether in our personal lives? What are these things that cause conflict? Methodological differences, substandard performance, lack of cooperation, the differences regarding authority. Most of these things happen even in the workplace. Like when I was talking about that methodological differences, it could be, I want to do it this way. No, it should be done this way. It has always been done this way. This is how we do it in this office. Those things can really cause a lot of conflict, even in the workplace. When a performance is substandard, it can cause conflict. When people are not cooperating with you at your workplace, lack of cooperation, it can cause conflict. When there are differences regarding authority, this person said, oh, I'm supposed to be your superior. Oh, you're supposed to report to me. Stuff like that can cause conflict. The differences regarding responsibility. Oh, it is procurement department that should do that. And procurement said, no, we have done our part. This has to be accounting department. These things can cause conflict. Yes, I see a comment in the comment section from Benedictus Kumsi said, ha ha ha, I'm glad you had a reason to laugh in this class. Asempa Peter said, the easiest way to go to prison, yes, is anger, and you have to really, really control it. Ike Nadike said, when you've tried everything without fusion, replace being angry with prayers. I hear you. All right. So we have other causes of conflict, competition over resources. Maybe the resources are few, and then different departments or different unit heads are competing for the same resource. It can become a problem. Yes, Asempa Peter said, disagreement, lack of cooperation. Yes, autocracy, way of ruling or leading people. Exactly. These things can cause lots and lots of conflict. I'm so glad and excited that you are all following in this class. Another thing that can cause conflict is non-compliance with rules. There are rules that have been given, but people feel they should do it in a different way. Another one that can cause conflict is ideological differences. When people have difference in opinions, it can really, really cause conflict. Another one is opinion differences, which I just mentioned. Behavioral differences. Some people prefer to be loud, others prefer to be quiet. This can cause conflict, fear, dishonesty, boundaries, negligence, and even the need to be right can all cause can all cause feelings of anger in conflict, miscommunication, mishandling conflict in the past, hidden agenda, revenge, fighting the last war, personality conflict, value differences, goal differences. All of these things can cause anger in a person. All right, let's talk about anger cycle. Are you following? Is everybody following? I really desire that you understand in fact, after today, you should be an authority in anger management because you know exactly what to do. All right. So let's talk about the anger cycle. The anger cycle starts with the event or the trigger. When after you have been triggered or whatever happened in that event, the next one, it escalates and reaches crisis phase. Now, this crisis phase is also the judgment and intelligence creativity point. And this crisis phase is where those who have anger management can be separated from those who don't have anger management. This is the point of separation. Those at the crisis phase, those who have anger management will manage it so well that there'll be a recovery phase, that it will work out well. Those who don't manage it well will begin to face the consequences, the post-crisis phase. So it's just about the cycle, the event, escalation, crisis phase, recovery, post-crisis phase. So your knowledge of anger management will determine if you'll be able to come out on top or if it will swallow you up. Now let's talk about triggers of anger. Now the triggers are the things that stimulate the anger response. The various kinds of triggers are external triggers and internal triggers. External triggers involves a specific person. It could be a co-worker or a supervisor. It involves an event. It could be traffic jam, canceled concert, flights, someone talking badly about your family, or somebody not even giving you the permission you desire, or somebody bullying you at the workplace. Now, internal trigger could be worrying about your personal problems. It could be memories of traumatic events that have happened in your life. Now, let's talk about self-destructive behavior. There are several self-destructive behaviors that a person may exhibit that may lead to aggression and pent-up anger building inside the person. It is crucial that you identify such self-destructive behaviors and understand how it can hurt you Look at the guy in our slide. His face is really angry. And with this kind of face, he may not just hurt somebody, he may also be hurting himself. And that's what we're talking about, self-destructive behavior. What are some of these self-destructive behaviors? The following are some of the self-destructive behaviors that some people might exhibit, all right, in their lives. And number one is negative self-talk. Another one is blaming everybody else, everyone else. Another one is taking everything personally. They see like, in fact, I am the I am the reason why everything is going bad. They begin to assume things. Another one is overeating. You begin to overeat and you overdrink, and you think you are hurting people, but you're hurting yourself. Others begin to drive recklessly when they're angry, and they forget that not only can they kill themselves with that car, they can also kill other people through accidents by just overspeeding. Some begin to take drugs and they are just trying to express their anger, but honestly, they are destroying themselves. Others begin to look for fights. Every opportunity to fight, they fight because they feel they are angry. Others feel outraged. So no matter what it is, please avoid self-destructive behavior. Negative self-talk, talking to yourself anyhow, telling yourself terrible things, how you are stupid, how you shouldn't have been born, how you shouldn't have been created. All of these things are not good for you. They are self-destructive, and you don't want to be self-destruct, right? All right, so you have to do what is right for you. Now, before this kind of aggressive acts, there are thoughts that come to your mind. So even before the anger sets in and a person begins to act aggressively, there are certain typical thoughts that run through a person's mind that blows up the situation out of proportion and makes a person very angry. Hence, it is important to identify and stop such thoughts that occur prior to aggressive acts. And some of these thoughts are, you did that on purpose, so I'm going to show you. Another one is, you wanted to hurt me. I'm going to hurt you back. Another one is, you deserve this. Because of what you did to me, you deserve it. Another negative thought is, you never even asked me, so you don't care, all right? Another one is, you are being unreasonable. So I'm going to show you what unreasonable looks like. Another one is, you think you are so good, huh? I'm going to show you you are nothing. These are negative thoughts, right? Another one is, I will show you. Oh, I'll be talking about it. I will show you. And then you show the person. Another one is, you started it. You started it, so I'm going to finish it for you. Then another one, there's no justice, so I have to take laws into my hands. These are self-destructive thoughts that are prior to aggressive acts, and you should avoid them. All right? When you see any of them happening in your mind, you recognize them, please do well to avoid them. Let's talk about the internal cues to anger. The internal cues to anger. When a person starts becoming angry, there are certain vital internal cues or hints that our body shows, which can help us to understand and become aware of our anger, so that you don't say, I'm not angry, but you are actually angry. All right. This will help us to identify and use these internal cues to feelings of anger as a warning bell, so that we can keep ourselves in control and avoid an explosion. And that's what I've been telling you all this while. So some of these internal cues are, your stomach gets tight and upset. You know that time when you're angry and then all of a sudden your stomach gets very tight up and then your heart starts beating faster. For some of you, you start clenching your fist. Some of you start feeling getting flushed on your face, pressure on the temples, sweaty palms, clenched jaws, showing that you're actually angry. When these things begin to happen, don't take them for granted. Know that they are signs that you should begin to exhibit all you have learned in this anger management class. All right, so before you use an anger symptoms checklist, I like you to check off the one that applies to you, because certainly all of them will not apply to you. There are physical symptoms and there are emotional symptoms in this anger symptoms checklist. So for some of you, you may have an increased heart rate or muscle tension or feeling hot or fast breathing or clenched jaw, grinding of teeth, headache, stomach ache, shaking or trembling, dizziness, what you want to begin to pace. As someone that you feel as you need to take a drink or a cigarette, whatever it is, these are symptoms. Some people, the others begin to shout at others, or they become all right, so I guess my network got me logged out. I'd like to ask if everybody can still hear me loud and clear. I hope everyone can still hear me loud and clear. I want to make sure that we are together in this, okay? On a normal day, nothing can make you say 1-1. All right, can everybody hear me? If you can still hear me, just type 1-1 in the comment section. That way I know you can. Okay, thank you so much, Benedictus Thompson. Thank you. You said you can hear me. I'm glad you can hear me. Now I'm going to attempt to reshare my slides so that we can continue from where we stopped. All right, so network just logged me out and I think I am back in. Thank you so much. And thank you, Mr. Damilola. I see your 1-1-1 to show that you can hear me loud and clear. All right, so I just want to be sure I'm not alone. So we were talking about, yes, we apologize for the network challenges. It's one of the things we have to cope with in this in our country, but we believe that better days are ahead and we refuse to get angry. We refuse to get angry. We will manage this anger, right? All right. So I was just before I got cut off with network, we were talking about anger symptoms, and I said that there are physical symptoms and there are emotional symptoms. So you have to check both of those symptoms and know which one applies to you. So check off the ones that apply to you. Certainly, not all of them will apply to you. Okay. All right. So sometimes it will be the physical symptoms that apply to you. Some other times, what will apply to you will be the emotional symptoms. Whether you want to cry, if you have, you are sad, you're feeling guilty, these things come and they go. So whatever be the case, just make sure that you are in control of that emotion. Don't allow that emotion to be in control of you. You should rather be in control of that emotion. That will really, really help you. Okay? That will really, really help you. All right. So we continuing. Um, Continuing, we are going to be looking at okay, I have a comment from Asempa Peter. I said network is not good at all. Please, if you can hear me now, if you can hear me better now, please just type 1-1 so that I know that it has improved. I just switched my network. I just switched my network to a better network, hopefully, and I believe you can hear me better. So please let me know if you can hear me better. All right, so we're going to be talking about expressions of anger. Expressions of anger. Expressions of anger. Some people have the direct expression. Some others have indirect expression. Some others have repressed expression. So it depends on the kind of anger that you, the kind of way you express your anger, right? So for direct, some people just get annoyed, irritated, fed up, exasperated. This is direct, a direct expression of anger. Some others express their angers indirectly. In this case, they begin to just act disappointed, they feel guilty, some feel depressed, some feel hopeless when they are angry. So this is another type of expression of anger. This time around, it is indirect. But some others, theirs is repressed. Okay, Innocent Adamado. You said I was not hearing anything until now. Please, can you share the slides so that I can get everything? Yes, I'm sharing the slides on the screen. And if you want to get a copy of the slide, you would have to now pay for the certification. And when you pay for the certification, you'll be able to get the slide itself. All right? Yes. Yes, I see another comment. Ike Nadike said, thank you for bringing up this anger precipitants, ma'am. Can the materials be shared via email for continued revision? Absolutely. If you are able to pay for your certification, then you have access to the materials as well. So I want to encourage you, at the end of this class, we'll be sharing a link. And with that link, you'll be able to click on the link and then make your payments, and then you get the certificates, all right? So another expression of anger is a repressed kind of expression. In this case, it involves sarcasm. The person will begin to talk anyhow, all right? Passive-aggressive behavior. The person will not be doing what others expect or what is expected of him or her. They'll begin forgetting physical symptoms or even having accidents in the workplace. All of these things are expressions of anger. Now, let's talk about the types of anger. There are different types of anger. 12, we'll be sharing with you 12 types of anger today. Number one is the behavioral anger. Next, verbal anger. Next, passive anger. Next, self-inflicted anger. Next, chronic anger, judgmental anger, overwhelmed anger, constructive anger, volatile anger, retaliatory anger, paranoid anger, and deliberate anger. We'll be looking at these things one after the other in greater detail. Let's talk about behavioral anger. Behavioral anger is comprised of aggressive and cruel actions. It inclines mostly toward the physical aspect, all right? It usually implies an attack towards the subject of anger, usually a person, and it is expressed how? Through troublemaking, physical attack, or defiance. So that's behavioral anger. And that kind of anger is verbal anger. As the name implies, verbal anger uses merely words and not actions. So it is expressed mostly by openly speaking insulting words and hurtful criticisms against the persons they're angry with. Accusing somebody of a crime or wrongdoing is also an example of verbal anger. Another kind of anger is passive anger. Now, passive, as the name implies, means that this person may not show the anger outrightly, but will devise ways of expressing this kind of anger. It is shown mostly through mockery and through avoiding certain instances. They do not confront a person or a situation, but you see their body language, you see their reaction. That way you know that this person is having some kind of passive anger. Another one is self-inflicted anger. Have you seen people hurting themselves? This self-inflicted anger is one that is directed towards you as a person. You direct this anger towards yourself. Sometimes people show this kind of anger, they tend to starve themselves. The people that show this kind of anger, some of them starve themselves. Some of them do the opposite, and they eat too much, all right, to show themselves that they are angry. These are the people who believe in the idea of punishing their own self for something wrong they have or others have done to them, for something wrong they have done, or what others have done to them. They see it as a form of punishment, all right, by inflicting pain or trouble on themselves. Another one is chronic anger. chronic anger, people with chronic anger are just angry in general. They are angry over everything. They are angry for anything. You know, they're angry with their own lives. They're angry with themselves. They are angry with the people around them. And they're even angry with the world in general. They feel everything has gone wrong and things are no longer the same. They do not necessarily have a definite reason for this anger. Most times they're just angry people and angry for no apparent reason at all. The next one is judgmental anger. When judgmental anger is in place, it can lead somebody to hurtfully shame the people around him, his family, his friends, his neighbors, his colleagues at the workplace. You know, somebody who has judgmental anger will express their anger by pointing others and putting others down, you know, pointing at others, putting others down, belittling other people's ability, shaming them. And these are the things that happen when people have judgmental anger. The next one is yes, as Saint Papita said, can we get the materials? Absolutely. I want to believe that you are enjoying the class and you see a lot of value from this course, and that's why you're all asking for the materials. So we'll be giving you the materials as soon as you pay for the certification. So as payment for the certification grants you access to the material. So please stay with me in this class till the end of the class. This class should be ending by 1 p.m., like in the next few minutes. So by then, we'll be sharing with you the link for you to actually make payments for your certification. And that way you'll be able to get access to the materials, not just this one, the other ones we have also that you have been in class for. All right. So the next one we want to talk about is overwhelmed anger. When somebody expresses overwhelmed anger, it's usually seen in people who hate the situations happening around them. All right, that directly affects their lives. So they're not okay with it. All right, they feel that something is not working out in their lives. They begin to shout or lash out at somebody or something else. They do so because this is their own way of relieving the stress and the pain that they are currently feeling. That is the overwhelmed anger. Let's talk about the constructive anger. This may be the only good one amongst all the types of anger we have already shared. The constructive anger is the type of anger that makes you want to go out and join groups or movements, all right, that stand for something, that believe in something. They usually do this because they want to do something to correct an anomaly, to correct a situation within the country or within their workplace. The main effect of this type of anger is that they want to make a positive change. They want to make a difference. And because of that, they channel their anger towards a group where things are done decently and harmoniously in order to pass across a point. Now, let's talk about volatile anger. Volatile anger is the type of anger that easily comes and goes. The magnitude of this anger varies. So sometimes it comes at a lower magnitude, sometimes it comes with a higher frequency. It could build into rage, or it could be mild and sudden anger. It could also explode abruptly, or it could go unseen. It all depends on the person controlling the anger. This type of anger is expressed either by verbal or by physical assault. Another one is retaliatory anger. Retaliatory anger is the most common type of anger. You know, usually people get angry because other people are angry at them or made them angry. This anger depends mainly on the other person. So if your anger is due to a person lashing out at you, then you are guilty of this type of anger. That is the retaliatory anger. The next one, second to last, is the paranoid anger. Paranoid anger occurs if a person feels in an irrational way that they are intimidated by others. People with this type of anger feel and think that other people want to take what is rightfully theirs. They are angry toward other people mainly because they are jealous. Now, this is what we call the paranoid anger. They are paranoid. They are angry in a way to intimidate others, all right? They feel that this is their right and they need to have it, all right? And then the final one is deliberate anger. is shown by people who would like to gain control over a situation. Have you ever tried to confront somebody about what they did, and all of a sudden they rise in anger? They become angry with you first. They are just trying to gain control over that situation. You see, but they use this anger to gain power over what you are telling them, and they will be, once you have shown that you are against what they have planned to do, or what they would like to happen, they just rise in anger just to tell you that what I want to do has to be done, that kind of thing. So how do we manage anger? We have talked a lot about the different types of anger. We have talked about what anger is. We've talked about the expressions of anger and stuff like that, but we need to talk about how to manage anger. So the following are some of the anger management tips, which will help you to understand the results of your anger and give you some insights into dealing with your temper problems. Number one, consider your image. If your image is important to you, if your reputation is important to you, you will know how to control your anger. And then one, consider other people's views. People's views matter. Sometimes you might not be entirely right. Sometimes you might be wrong. And when you're wrong, please understand that you cannot be right all the time. People have the right to air their own perspectives, and don't hold a grudge. All right, be forgiving. Understand that this is life. Find an acceptable outlet for your anger. If you need to do training. If you need to do exercise, if you need to take a run, if you need to do some boxing exercises, go ahead. Know your limits. Don't overpush yourself. Learn how to calm down. Tell somebody calm down in this class. Tell somebody if you are at home or in your workplace, wherever, and then you help me, just talk to somebody at 30%, and 30%, I'm in a class where we study X. People deserve to be respected. So show mutual respect. Name the problem. Let them know what exactly the challenge is. And then find solutions to it. Choose the best solution and congratulate yourself for being able to manage that anger. Then review the solution that was picked to be sure that you did the right thing, and do it the next time feelings of anger emerges. All right? So let's talk about the steps for anger management. I'll be sharing with you 12 steps for anger management. The first one is maintain a hostility log. Use a hostility log to monitor what triggers your anger and the frequency of your anger responses. When you know what makes you angry, you'll be in a better position to develop strategies to contain it or to channel it effectively. Next one, acknowledge that you have a problem in managing your anger. If you don't acknowledge it, it will be difficult for you to solve it. So it's important for you to identify and accept that anger is a roadblock to your success. 3, use your support network. Let the important people in your life know about the changes you're trying to make. They can be a source of motivation and support that will help you so that you don't relapse into your old behavioral patterns. Number 4, use anger management techniques to interrupt the anger cycle. All right. Some of these anger management techniques include pause. So pause. Can we just pause? Just 1 minute, 1 minute. Let's pause. Two, take deep breaths. You have to breathe in and then let out the breath. Can we try it? Even in this class, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it, just do it. All right? Take deep breaths. Breathe out. Yeah. Tell yourself that you can handle the situation and then stop the negative thoughts. These are a few things you can do to help with the anger management. Use empathy. If another person is the source of your anger, try to see the situation from his or her perspective. There must be a reason why they are reacting. There must be a reason why they are not happy about what's happening. Remind yourself to be objective and realize that everyone makes mistakes. And it's through their mistakes that they can learn and improve, then learn to laugh. That was why I was happy that somebody was able to laugh in the comment section here on YouTube. So please laugh. Laugh at yourself. Learn to laugh at yourself. Don't take everything too seriously. All right. The next time you are tempted to kick something or to kick somebody, think about how silly you would look and see the humor in your inappropriate expression of anger and just laugh about it, okay? Because humor is often the best medicine. Relax. Angry people are often the ones who let the little things bother them. If you learn to control, to calm down, you'll realize that there is need to get uptight, and there is no need to get uptight, and you will have fewer anger episodes. Build trust. Build trust. Angry people can be very, very cynical people. They believe that others are going to do something on purpose to annoy them or to frustrate them, even before it happens. If you can build trust in people, you'll be less likely to become angry with them when something goes wrong, and more likely to attribute the problem to something other than the malicious intent. So build trust. Learn to listen. Miscommunication contributes to frustrating and mistrusting situations. The better you listen to what a person is saying, the better you will be able to find a resolution that does not involve an anger response. So learn to listen. Learn to listen, right? Be assertive, not aggressive. There's a difference between being assertive and being aggressive. When you're assertive, you're able to communicate to a person and let them know what they are doing, how what they're doing is affecting you, without insulting them. All right. So when you're angry, it is often difficult to express yourself properly. You are caught up in negative emotion to put together solid arguments or appropriate responses. But if you learn how to assert yourself and let people know your expectations, your boundaries, your issues, the challenges you have with them, you will have so much more interpersonal success. And live positively. There are many things happening in life that is so negative. The least you can do is just to live positively. Life is short, and it is better. It is much better spent positively than negatively. Realize that if you spend all your time getting angry, you will miss out on the many joys and surprises that life has to offer. So learn to live positively. And the last step, forgive and forget. Now, I want to ask you, everybody in this class, do you believe in forgiving and forgetting? Oh, what I mean to ask is, do you believe that somebody can actually forget even when they forgive? I'd like to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comment section. I always hear forgive and forget. You have heard that too. But do people really forget? Or is it that you forget in a way that you don't remember the hurt, you don't remember the pain? But I'm sure you may not have had amnesia. So you may not have forgotten what this person did, just that you've chosen to forget maybe the pain or how you felt about it. So to ensure that the chances you are making go much deeper than the surface, you need to forgive the people in your life that have angered you and forget the issues that you have had with them. It is not easy letting go of past hurt and resentment, but the only way to move past your anger is to let go of these feelings and start afresh. So this is a hostility log sheet. You can take your pen and paper and quickly scribble so that you have an idea what the hostility log sheet looks like. So all the days of the week, what made you angry? How did you respond? Was this justified? This is what you have in your hostility log sheet. So, yes, I see Veronica Ilebu. She said, yes, ma, calm down. That's correct. Yes, I see Johnson Musa laughing. It's good to know you're laughing there. All right. Innocent Adamadu said, it's easy to forgive, but it's difficult to forget the act. However, time heals. I absolutely agree with you, Innocent. All right, let's move on. What are the approaches to conflict to avoid anger? To avoid getting angry and controlling anger, it's important that you know the various approaches to conflict so that conflict with others can be resolved without you getting angry. Yes, Peter Asempa said, you can forgive, but not easy to forget. Absolutely. I believe so. It's not easy to forget, but you can forget how you feel hurt. You can forget the pain. You can forget how you felt about it, and it will help you to cope better with the person. All right, so back to approaches on how to avoid anger, all right, and how to resolve conflict. So there are various approaches to conflict resolution that will help you to resolve that conflict without getting angry. The first one is what we call the win-win situation. In the win-win, both parties are satisfied. So everybody wins. But in the win-lose, one person gets the satisfaction. In the lose-win, the other person gets the satisfaction. And then the lose-lose, neither party gets the satisfaction. So if you want to resolve conflicts, I believe that the best strategy is to look out for a win-win situation where both parties are winning. That is the best form of conflict resolution. So you can respond to conflict in various ways. You can respond appropriately to avoid an anger episode and yet resolve the conflict. The following image shows the various responses to conflict. So for conflict, you can decide to use the destructive approach or the constructive approach, the active approach or the passive approach. Now, let's look at each of them in detail. Some people decide to exit. The exit response involves leaving a relationship either by physically walking out or by psychologically withdrawing. So this happens when, imagine two people are arguing about something or angry about something, and one just opens the door and walks away. That is the exit response. The next one is called the neglect response. The neglect response occurs when an individual denies or minimizes the problems, disagreements, anger, or tension. This one is very destructive. This is very destructive because both walking out and neglect are both destructive, all right? Because you have not resolved the problem. You walked out. It has not solved the problem. You neglected the person. Or invalidates what the person is feeling. It makes the anger to increase, okay? Another one is the loyalty response. Loyalty response is staying committed to a relationship despite the differences. So no matter what happens, you know that you are in distance together with the person. That way, eventually, like somebody said, Innocent said in the comment section, time will heal it, okay? The next one is the voice response. The voice response is an active, constructive strategy for dealing with conflict by talking about the problems and trying to resolve them. So the voice and the loyalty strategy are both the constructive strategies, while the exit and the neglect are both destructive strategies. Now, exit and voice are both active strategies, and neglect and loyalty are both passive strategies because you really didn't do anything. You just made a decision to either ignore the person or a decision to remain. In exit and voice, you made a decision to walk away, a decision to speak up, all right? So that's it. Let's talk about the Coates-Air method of anger management. Coates-Air method of anger management. Professor Richard Nelson Jones of the UK has developed a good structure to use for anger management called Coates-Air. The acronym Coates-Air stands for confront, understand, define, search, agree, implement, and review. I'd like everyone who heard me right now to just type Coates-Air in the comment section. That is how I know those who were actively listening and those who were passively listening. So if you're actively listening, type Coates-Air in the comment section. And if you have been actively listening and you can see my screen, you understand what Coates-Air is. C stands for comfort, U stands for understanding, D stands for define, S stands for search, A stands for agree, I stands for implement, and R for review. So let's take them one after the other because Coates-Air can be applied to any problem that makes you angry. Through using Coates-Air, the problem is confronted, understood, and defined. Solutions to the problems are searched, and then the most difficult part of agreeing on certain solutions is done. The solutions now are implemented and most importantly, reviewed. That is Coates-Air for you. During review, if you feel that this method works well for you, then reapply the structure the next time you confront anger triggering problems. So I believe that with this, you won't have an issue anymore with controlling your anger or managing your anger. So let's look at them one after the other. Confrontation. Confrontation, where you all, this is where you all confront the problem instead of one another. I said it before, don't confront each other, confront the problem and see what is the point of your anger. The next one is understand, which means you have to understand how each of you are feeling and grant each other the right to disagree. The next one is define, which is to mark out the areas of disagreements. Okay. The next one is search, where you look out for the solutions. What are the solutions to these problems that we are having at this moment? The next one is agreement. It means it might be good or bad. It might work out or not work out. But the point is, you see what concessions have been made, applaud it and see what can be done. Now, the next one is implement. Implementation of the solution that has been brought up. And then finally, you begin to review. You let some time to pass, and then you go back and see if you can do any better this time around. So let's move on and talk about the cognitive behavior therapy for anger management. I hope you were able to catch up on all I was able to share on the COTS Air. Let me know in the comment section, all right? Let me know in the comment section if you were able to catch up on all that we shared so far. Okay, I'm really excited that many of you are following. Yes. I see comments from Innocent Adamado, Vivian the Great Idol, Johnson Musa, Benedictus Kumsin, Ikenna DK, Asempa Peter, Beauty Gold, all of you. Thank you so much for joining and for being attentive to this class. This class will be rounding off in a few minutes, and I'm really glad you have followed and stayed connected up until now. So let's talk about the cognitive behavior therapy for anger. Cognitive behavior therapy involves cognitive restructuring, which means changing the way you think. So honestly, forget this big grammar, the cognitive behavior therapy. It just means that you have to change how you think, okay? Logic defeats anger, because anger, even when it is justified, can quickly become irrational. Okay, angry people need to become aware of their demanding nature and translate their expectations into desires. So use cold, hard logic on yourself. Tell yourself, I am better than this. I am bigger than this. I should not allow this anger to ruin me or to destroy the relationships I have or to make me to destroy my entire destiny. Okay, cognitive behavior therapy is applied to anger management by giving the person with anger control problems a complete psychological assessment using diagnostic tests to measure anxiety, to measure depression, self-esteem levels, and even their personality type. An anger test is used to understand the specific areas that trigger anger responses in an individual, and an individual diagnosis and blueprint for treatment is collaboratively discussed with the person. So there's a collaboration involved in discussing what measures to take in order to help this person with the cognitive behavioral therapy. All right, let's simplify things a little bit. Let's talk about the ABCs of anger. In case you're here, you don't understand COTS and the rest of that, at least ABC is easy for you to get, right? So let's talk about ABC. ABC is anger trigger, B, behavior, C, consequence. Everybody should know that something triggers your anger and then you behave in a certain way and then there's a consequence. So for anger trigger, what stimulated the anger response? B, what was your reaction that was provoked by this anger? And C, what happened as a result of controlling or not controlling one's anger? That's the ABCs of anger. All right, let's move on. We are on the speed lane of some sort. Let's talk about the use of relaxation for anger management. Okay, relaxation plays an important role in reducing or controlling your anger. Practice relaxation daily and also during an anger episode to be able to control yourself. So quickly, I want everybody to do this together with me. Take 3 deep abdominal breaths and imagine the tension leaving your body as you exhale. So as you breathe in, that's all the tension. As you exhale, you let it go. Let's do that quickly. 1, 2, go. Oh, I already feel better in the first one. Let's do it one more time. As you exhale, imagine all the tension leaving your body. Let's do it for the 3rd time, everybody. Breathe in and exhale. I believe you feel better right now, do you? All right, so clench your fists and hold up to 10 seconds, then release. Use this amount of time for each muscle build up. Just keep doing it and you see that the tension will reduce. Then tighten your biceps and release them, all right? Tighten your triceps and release them. Continue to follow the directions above for each muscle group and continue to breathe deeply while you do this, all right? That's a powerful relaxation technique. You can also envision yourself in a setting you find peaceful. Oh, let me tell you about the setting I find peaceful. I find a setting around a Hawaii beach, okay? So I see myself lying down on a stretched out beach chair. Can you imagine it with me? And then the sea is blue, a perfect blue. On a sunny day, not so sunny, but there's some kind of wind from the sea. Yeah. So, and then I'm drinking this coconut juice with straw inside the coconut. And I'm just chilling beside the sea. All right. So that's the environment I find peaceful. Let me know what yours is in the comment section. Share with me, all right? Don't be stingy with that information. Share yours with me. Let me know what it is. Make sure you envision the scene in great detail. You saw how I envisioned mine with great detail. All right, go ahead and let me know yours. You do not have a limit. You do not have to limit yourself to reality. All right. So you can dream about anything. You can envision just about anything. It's possible. All right. At least in your mind, it is very possible. Let me know in the comment section. Quickly share with me what you think. All right, how you envision yourself in a peaceful environment. The environment you consider peaceful. Another one I might consider peaceful will be in a garden budding with plenty flowers. You know, bright colored flowers, and then it's a windy, a breeze. There's a cool breeze in the garden. All right, and just making the flowers dance, and then I'm sitting on a bench and just inhaling the natural breeze and looking at the beautiful flowers. Am I imagining too much? Let me know what your own thoughts are, all right? Let's go ahead. The strategies to control anger. I'll be sharing with you strategies to control anger. The following are the strategies. Keep your voice low, breathe slowly and deliberately, count up to 10, think before you act, hit a pillow or cushion if you must hit something, all right? Throw safe items into a container, go for a walk. You could also write or draw your feelings, tear them up and throw them away. Then you can tear up old newspapers if you really need to tear something. Instead of tearing your certificates, or tearing your family pictures, please tear old newspaper. In fact, buy old newspapers and keep for the sake of tearing them when you're angry. Or you can shout in a safe place. You can lock yourself in the toilet and shout as much as you want just to release your tension. You can pretend to talk to the person who makes you angry. Talk to them in the air or in the mirror and let them know that I don't like what you did to me. Take a walk or engage in some other kind of physical activity that can help you. Perform a relaxation exercise like meditation or progressive relaxation. Read a book if it relaxes you. Listen to music. That one does it for me, okay? Watch television, movies, talk to or call a friend, write in a journal, complete chores, whatever it is that makes you feel better, go ahead and do that. Okay, let's talk about types of conflicts that may occur. Okay, these are the kind of types of conflict that may occur that may lead a person to get angry. There are 2 types, personal conflicts and situational conflicts. All right, I'm waiting for your comments. Please do well to share with me, okay? In personal conflicts, conflicts may occur based on differences in style, differences in background, even differences in gender, and differences in personality. And situational conflicts can occur because of interdependence conflicts, differences in leadership. So let's look at both of them in detail. On personal conflicts, we talked about differences in style, differences in background or gender, and differences in personality. And we're going to look at them in detail. So somebody is doing LOL for my imagination, my wonderful, wonderful imagination. Veronica, after doing your LOL, please do well to share your own imagined peaceful place for me, okay? Because I want to hear everybody's own. Okay, so let's talk about differences in style based on conflict. These conflicts can occur because people's style of completing a job can differ. For example, one person may just want to get the work done quickly, that this person is task-oriented, while the other person is more concerned about having it done in a particular way. That's if this person really wants it to be done in a particular artistic way, and it's important that both are looked into, right? So that there won't be conflict. Another one is conflict in background or gender. Conflicts can arise between people because of the differences in educational backgrounds, personal experiences, ethnic heritage, gender, or even political differences, all right? We've seen a lot of this happen even in our country. People are arguing, fighting over things that we don't even know. And sometimes the politicians you're fighting over, they go and they make up and they agree with themselves. And we shouldn't be fighting over stuff like that, okay? Another one is differences in personality. There are so many different types of personalities, all right? This type of conflict is often fueled by emotion and perceptions about somebody else's motive and character. For example, a team leader shouts on someone for being late because he perceives the team member as being lazy or inconsiderate, and then the team member sees the team leader as being irrational. When this happens, there would certainly be conflict. Let's talk about situational conflict. The number one is independence conflict. Such conflicts occur when a person's job depends on somebody else's cooperation, outputs, and inputs. And if this happens, it becomes difficult. For example, a salesperson who is constantly late in submitting the monthly sales figures may cause the accountant to be late in submitting her reports. And this is interdependence conflict, because I didn't do this up by myself. If you are late, it means I'm late. If you don't meet up, it means I won't meet up. And this causes problems and conflicts in the workplace. So another one is differences in leadership. Leaders have different styles. Conflicts may occur when employees who move from under one supervisor to another supervisor becomes confused. For example, let's give an example. One leader may be more open and delegates responsibility, while the other one may be more directive. For example, for an employee, it becomes a conflict situation where he has to change his leader. Okay? So what are the steps to resolve this kind of conflicts? Manage yourself. If you and the other person are getting angry, then manage yourself to stay calm. Move the discussion to a private area if possible. Okay? Move the discussion to a private area if possible. This will greatly help in resolving that conflict. All right, just give me a minute to get my slide back. All right, so I'm watching the comment section. I want to know what you think. All right, so let's continue. Number 3, give the other person some time to vent his emotions and don't interrupt them or judge them when they are saying what they are saying. Check with the other person and verify that you are hearing each other accurately. When the other person stops speaking, then ask the person to let you rephrase what you heard so that you are sure you actually heard this person correctly. Repeat the step 4. This time, ask the person to verify what they heard from you and understood it. Acknowledge where you disagree and where you agree. Work on the issue, not the person. Identify at least one action that can be done by one or both of you, if possible, in order to resolve this conflict. If the situation remains a conflict, then conclude if the other person's behavior conflicts with the policies that you have in place, and then consider if you get a third party to mediate in the problem, okay? So quickly, let me share with you the steps to resolve situational conflict. I know We have bombarded you with a lot of information in this class, and this is why you should do yourself a favor to actually rewatch this video later. Make sure you grasp everything. Go through it detail by detail. If you need to rewind, it will be available for you on YouTube, and then also do well to get your certification on this course. Okay. So steps to resolve conflict in situational conflicts. Steps to resolve situational conflicts are as follows. Step 1, set the scene. Step 2, gather information. Next, agree to a problem. 4, brainstorm possible solutions, then negotiate a solution. The next thing you have to do is that so you have to understand the situation rationally, understand each other's needs and concerns, define a mutual problem, think of all the possible solutions, come to a solution that is agreed upon by both groups. And we need to know that there are different strategies. There is mediation, arbitration, control, acceptance, elimination. In mediation, the goal is to identify multiple possible alternatives and to mutually select one that is acceptable to all involved parties and in the interest of the project objectives. When you want to use arbitration method, it means that this strategy requires the project manager to provide a safe and productive opportunity for the conflicted parties to air their disagreements. After careful attention and fully listening to each party, the project manager should formulate, define, and provide a solution to these parties. Okay, this strategy is based on the forcing approach to conflict. Arbitration can often be effectively combined with mediation by forcing an initial conflict resolution and then allowing these parties to negotiate to a more mutually acceptable alternative. So at this point, they are all saying their mind and they are also bringing out solutions. How do we solve this problem? Everybody says their mind. And then what is the plan that can ensure that we have a win-win situation? The next one is control. Based on the smoothing approach, and this strategy seeks to bring tension and emotions down to a level at which productive discussion and negotiation can occur. Humor is often an efficient tool for control, as well as the use of temporal breaks or timeouts in the discussion between conflicted parties. All right, the next one will be acceptance. An acceptance decision can be made that the conflict consequences are negligible and related to project objectives and therefore requires no action. So we just accept what it is. Now, final one is elimination. So in elimination is reserved for those conflicts that have become so dysfunctional that the project can no longer tolerate any impact from them. So often, as a last resort, elimination involves the removal of the conflicted parties from the involvement with the project, and then tell them, because of the kind of conflict we're having, we can no longer continue with this vision with these two parties involved. So let's call it a day and move on. And that's what happens. So we have talked about lots and lots of methods to reduce reduce conflict and to avoid anger. We talked about the lose-lose method, the win-lose method, the win-win methods. And I've shared with you how to resolve conflicts using these methods. In a lose-lose method, there's avoidance, withdrawal. Each loses something valued. That's a lose-lose situation. In a win-lose situation, there's dominance. One party is winning. One party is overwhelming the other party, all right? And majority is ruling by voting. That's one party wins on this one. In the win-win method, it involves a lot of problem solving, integration. Interests of both parties are involved and considered, and eventually the result is a result that everybody desires but could not have reached all by themselves. And this is a win-win method of resolving conflict. Each party gets what they want, but not all by themselves, but with the help of the other parties. So we are rounding up. It's already 1 o'clock and our time is honestly up. So the tips for effective communication include focus on the overall communication system, be flexible, manage time during discussion, aim for a win-win conflict resolution method, honor yourself, your partners, and those you're in a relationship with, show grace when appropriate. All right, so you have to be build good relationship before conflict occurs. Don't let small problems to escalate. Deal with them as they arise. Respect each other's differences and listen to other people's perspective on the solution. Acknowledge their feelings before focusing on their facts. Focus on problem solving, not changing the people. You can't really change anybody. Okay, if you can't solve the problem, turn to somebody who can actually help you solve the problem. Then remember to adapt your style to the situation and the persons involved. Don't keep it at a textbook level. You must find a way to make it work. So I've shared a lot of tips on how you can keep cool, eat right, exercise, have enough sleep, relax, find a quiet place, know your feelings, take time out, all right? Find fun distractions, write about those feelings and tear them up. Choose friends who can make you feel good, learn to forgive and forget, and make good decisions about what you see and what you hear. I want to thank you all for being a part of the class. We have finally gotten to the end of this class. So I'd like you to work on the hostility sheet that I shared with you earlier. Bring it out and then identify your anger episodes, your physical, at least identify 5 anger episodes that you had and check off on the anger symptoms list too. Find out what your physical symptoms are and your emotional symptoms are. And then by the time you look at these things, you'll be able to know what actually triggers your anger and how best you can solve this problem. Now, I like you to, at this point, you can screenshot your phone so that you can practice this. This is the practice time. Screenshot. You have 10 exercises there. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So 15 exercises for you to practice. When was the last time you were angry? What triggered your last anger? What did you think are your general triggers for anger? What anger symptoms do you generally display? All of these questions are important. Practice them, answer them. How do you express your anger generally? How do you feel? How do you feel the anger physically and emotionally? What occurred right before you became angry? What are the usual thoughts that led to your anger? How would you change your thoughts? What usually occurs after you react to your own anger? What are the short-term effects of your expressing your anger? What are the long-term effects of your expressing your anger? What steps would you take to manage your anger better? Which of the steps has a long-term effect for you to help you in anger management? Which of the steps helps provide you with short-term relief and helps you to avoid getting angry when in a tense situation? All right? So this is very, very key. As we begin to round up this class, I must say that I'm really impressed about your connectivity. Many of you have followed from the beginning when we started by 11, and this is 1 o'clock, and this is 2 hours of intense study. I really celebrate each and every one of you. And I'd like you to look into this more, go back and watch the video. And beyond this practice, I leave you with this case study. Okay, this case study is not for you to answer now. You can answer at the end of this class. So do me a favor, analyze this question, get the answers, and then post what you think the solution is in the comment section by the time you are done. By the time you are done with this class. David Wilson is the vice president of Helium Incorporated. He is facing a lot of stress at work because of several new projects being handled simultaneously. He's also facing stress at home due to his son's indiscipline and violent behavior at school. All these situations have made David irritable, frustrated, and angry at all times. So the question is this: what should David do to control his temper and keep calm? Number 2, what adverse effects can David's anger have on his professional and personal life, as well as on his health? Let me know what your answers are eventually. You can do this between today, tomorrow, or even Monday. and let me know what your thoughts are on this subject matter. So, in summary, we have been able to look at anger as an emotional state that varies in intensity from mild irritation to intense fury and rage. We also looked at anger management as about learning to be angry with the right person to the right degree at the right time for the right purpose and in the right way. And then we're able to talk about some tips that will help you to cool off and reduce your anger. And we said they include exercise every day, eat right, get enough sleep, know your feelings, write about those feelings and tear them up, find a quiet place and learn to relax. Take time out, find fun distractions like watching a movie, going to a cool spot, relaxing, eating what is nice, what you love. Make good decisions about what you see and hear. Choose friends that would make you feel good, that will give you the necessary support that you need, and then learn to forgive and to forget. Thank you so much, everyone, for being in this class. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comment section. We have a team of professionals who are right here in this class. They are there in the comment section, ready for your questions, and they will give you wonderful answers to those questions. Until I come your way again, I'd like you to just keep understanding the benefits of anger management and share this good news to somebody. So do us a favor, like this video, comment if you have not commented already. Do well to share this video to your friends and do not fail to subscribe. If some of you are out there and you're not able to comment, it is because you have not subscribed. So the moment you subscribe to this channel, you'll be able to comment. So subscribe so that you can comment and let us know what your thoughts are. Thank you so much for joining us in this class. I'll be handing over to our executive director. He has a few more information he'll be sharing with you at the end of this class. So help me welcome Dr. Benito back to the class so that he would help us round up this session. If you have any questions, please do well to join, to ask them in the comment section. Like the stream, subscribe, share, and comment. And as you do this, you'll get more information every time we share something new on this platform. This is a platform for professionals, people who want to learn, who want to develop and improve on themselves. All right. So feel free to go through our other videos. We have so many quality videos that are on this platform. They would help you greatly. So thank you for being a part of this class. I appreciate you all greatly. Until I come your way again, keep becoming a better version of yourself. Thank you very much and do enjoy the rest of your day.
Okay, all right. Thank you, Dr. Ifoma, for this wonderful section. I mean, this is almost 2 hours. Yeah, I'm very correct. We spent 2 hours and some minutes here already, and I can see that we've learned a lot. This is something that we should not, joke about. Thank you for everybody that stayed tuned to this time. We appreciate us so much. I believe that everything we've learned this afternoon, we are going to put them into practice. Learning is not enough. Practicing is the best. So we have other sections coming up. We've not done with this particular class. By God's grace, tomorrow we continue from where we stop here, and that will be 12 noon tomorrow, Saturday. So please, if you haven't planned ahead of tomorrow, kindly do so now. And for some of us that we do not really concentrate while the class was going on, please kindly come back to come and watch and share with friends and your colleagues. It's very important that when we are learning this important topic, we need to extend that kind of, hand of love to others as well. It's very, very important. Please make sure you enjoy your weekend, and we come to your way again by tomorrow, 12 noon. Please remind your friends and also send them the link to rewatch this particular section. And we strongly believe that it will be a blessing to them and they will learn a lot. Thank you. Once again, my name is Damilola Olaniyi. Until we come to your way again, please make sure you manage your anger and temperament. God bless you all. Thank you.